channel, guys. Here we go again, another day with the Range Rover service. We were changing belts last time. We couldn't get to that inner belt because we needed a few tools to get the fan clutch off. So we went out and purchased some. We got the 36 millimeter wrench for the fan clutch. And we also, we got it so that we could use our air hammer and then knock it off that way. Everybody I see is trying to use a wrench and a pair of pliers, but I've yet to see anybody use this. This works really good. Next step, we're also going to be changing the water pump, power steering pump, the fan idler pulley, the oil cooler, coolant hose, all the idlers and both tensioners and both belts. And we're going to be using a lot of OEM and a lot of reputable brands, Continental. We're going to be using Range Rover, GRAF for the water pump, OEM for the power steering pump. And I couldn't get the OEM hose. For some reason, Range Rover said it was discontinued, but Gates makes the hose. If you guys don't have this weird looking shaped hose, it's got all these crazy bends, pop clips. This one's a pain to find, but I found it. It wasn't cheap. This one was, Range Rover price was like $280. I got this one for $100, which was great. And I'll show you guys the rest of the parts here. So I got all the parts spread out on the table here. We got all the idlers, the tensioners. I got one tensioner already in the car for the fan belt, and this is the accessory belt, and this is the fan clutch idler. I do recommend changing this if you are doing the belt service on your truck, and it's the OEM one. Here's the part number: Land Rover, Range Rover, Jaguar, and the OEM pump. Guys, show you this. Here's the part number back here. And then the water pump. It also comes with the gasket. That's the part number right there. So guys, get ready. We're gonna get to work. We got a lot of work to do today. No games. I'll get you guys in here. I'll show you what I did to get the fan clutch off. I already have it off, but I'll show you exactly the method that I used to get it off. It only took me like 5 minutes. So I'm gonna start getting all this. I'm gonna get the air box off. I'm gonna try to do the job without removing the fan shroud because we have a hard AC line that runs over the top of the fan shroud, which makes it very difficult to get out without disconnecting the AC line. Now, we're not gonna do that. That's gonna cost us more money to recharge the system. If your system is down and doesn't have any Freon in it, then by all means, pop the line off. But mine has AC in it, and I'm not trying to spend even more money at $140 a pound. And you guys know it's a Range Rover, big truck. So it's got a big AC system. It's gonna be more than $140 a pound. Will probably be like $300. And other people will say, oh no, it's different. Well, not New York prices. New York prices, high. We're not trying to do that. So let's get in this and let's work around this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do that. Took the fan off and put it inside the shroud and push it back so we can actually get our hands inside here now. So let's see what we can get done. We're gonna get that box off right now. Let's do it. All right, so guys, we're gonna release that tensioner over there to remove the belt. If you guys can see, I already have the fan clutch off. We're gonna do the water, we're gonna try to remove the water pump through this area. Once we take the tensioner off, that'll give us some more space. And we're also going to be replacing this hose right here. So if you guys notice, I like to say it looks like a python with an egg in it, because that's ready to blow up. We had an oil leak there from the cooler at the time. I guess the oil got on it, expands the hose. I'm going to be replacing that power steering pump right there, and all the belts, and all the idlers and tensioners. It's pretty tight in there, guys, so let's see how much we can get in there and get done. All right, so we got that fan clutch pulley off the front there, and we got the fan pushback. So now we're gonna start working with removing the fan clutch idler. There's, I think, 5 8mm bolts. We're back at it, another day. So now we got that fan idler pulley off that runs the fan. Now we can get the idler bracket itself off so that we can get the main accessory belt out, because that blocks it. It's got like a plate in front of the belt. So we're gonna get that off. It's 5 8mm bolts, and we'll remove that right now. Sorry for the angles, guys. It's a little tight in here. All right, you guys, as you can see, I got the idler off through the bottom. Not too bad, pretty straightforward. Use my electric ratchet with an 8mm medium. And you gotta make sure these are clocked so that the socket will fit in there. This is the new one. We're gonna put that on once we're done with the water pump, power steering, and putting the belts back on. So now we have the area open to get the water pump out. Power steering's next. Back to the belts once we get all these nice things put back on. I'm gonna talk to you guys later on about this thing in the video. Fuel dampener. Try to charge you a lot of money. They tell you can't remove this because it even says do not remove, but if you know what you're doing, you can save yourself thousands of dollars by just buying this piece, because this is your main culprit of fuel leaks on your engine for your Range Rover. That's the water pump pulley right here. We're gonna get that off next. That'll expose the water pump to us. And then we can start draining coolant and getting this coolant lines replaced as well. Look at that thing. Try to explode. So we got the water pump pulley off. We test fitted and make sure it fits here correctly so we don't do work, because for all we know, there could be a different water pump, but I know I checked the part number. This is correct. You guys do the same so you don't do work you don't have to do. So, you guys can see. There's the water pump right there. It's got 5 bolts that hold it on there and a metal gasket. So, that's what we're working at. It's either keep all that crap out up there, work a little right here and you can get it out. So we got the idlers out. These all make noise. These are the new ones. That was bad. Listen to this one. Really bad. This one is not so. You could see that there's stuff back here like metal. You could hear it in the morning. Only in the morning. Once it warmed up, it would go away, but still, we can't have that. That'll make a belt break or a bearing give up, belt fall off, and now you're stuck on the side of the road. So we're gonna keep moving forward. We got a lot of stuff out. We're going all right, so we just can keep going. And that water pump bolt now. I'm removing the shrouds. I got the 2 here and here out. So we got the water pump out. The difference between the original and the OEM one and the upgraded aftermarket one is the impeller is made out of brass, where the original one is plastic. So you guys that's still running this, you should get rid of this, because this could give up on you one day. It's really inexpensive. It's just the job is labor intensive to get to it. I'll show you guys over here. So we took it out from the bottom, so we didn't have to take that shroud out. It wasn't too bad. We were able to get majority of the bolts off the top, and the one in the middle at the bottom, I'll send it up there so you guys can see. So if you guys run into this with your Range Rover 4.4 liter, naturally aspirated, not the supercharged one where you don't have the 2-piece shroud and you have this 1-piece shroud that's very hard to get out with that AC line above it. This is the best way I found without having to let the AC out. It wasn't too bad. So we're gonna keep moving forward, get that water pump on, and then get that power steering pump changed out as well while we're in here. While you're in here, guys, you should do all the maintenance you can because, you know, it's very difficult to get to. So we got that coolant hose out. It's the oil cooler, transmission cooler, feed line. Connects to the oil cooler. And then it also feeds the transmission cooler, which is kind of up there. As you can see. We just connected it there from that leaking hose. It's a good time to change it while we're in here. More space. That's what you need, guys. Upgraded water pump to a brass impeller instead of plastic. And if you need these hoses, do them while you're there. All right, so we're also changing the power steering pump. Even though there's plenty of power steering fluid in the system, it whines. It's very annoying, especially a Range Rover. It shouldn't have any noises. It should just be quiet and silent like it should be. So we're gonna do it the proper way. We're gonna put a brand new Land Rover power steering pump in here and get rid of that old one. I mean, it is high mileage, so it's done its job. It's lasted this long. So time to get it out and clean up some more of this engine here. Got a lot of grease and gunk there from the old oil leak. So to remove the power steering pump here, there are 2 bolts in the back of the pump and 3 in the front of the pump. So we got the power steering pump out, the tensioner out right there, and everything is over here matched up. So new tensioner, old tensioner. You hear this thing? This thing sounds crazy. So we got the power steering pump in, and we are moving on. We got the water pump in, as you guys can see up there. Brand new water pumps in there. So that cool tool I told you about, it works good, but I had to make it longer to get down in here to tighten up the fan clutch. What a pain, but we got it done. Everything has been replaced in here. New water pump, all the new belts, power steering pump, all the idlers, the fan clutch idler, and now we got the fan back on. We're gonna fill it up with coolant, start this thing up, but yet we still have another coolant leak way down there. That's the thermostat housing bypass that goes through the center of the block there. So we're gonna have to take that whole intake manifold off to get to it. It's like a piece of plastic. It deteriorates over time, and there's an O-ring in there. So that's really where the leak was coming from. But we just did a whole ton of preventative maintenance. You know, don't let it happen to you guys. It's that leak under there. It's never the water pump. There's 2 drain holes. In my video, you'll see there's 2 drain holes behind the water pump, leading you to believe that that is the water pump leaking, but it's not. It is the coolant flange under the intake manifold back here. So when I do that job, you guys will see what it looks like back there on these Jaguar 4.4 liters. Stay tuned, guys. All right, guys, we're almost there. Final crucial step, we're gonna prime the coolant system, and we're gonna get this truck back up and running. So we're gonna use the vacuum tool to vacuum out the coolant system, so we get no air pockets, but we still have the bleeders we need to open here and here once we're done vacuuming, just to make sure that we don't have any voids there. But we're just double checking just to be sure. So we're almost there. A lot of service done on this Range Rover. Finally, we're gonna get this job buttoned up. So we got our power bleeder hooked up to here. We're gonna pull vacuum on it in a second. We got the coolant right here, 2 gallons of it. Concentrate, we mixed it. We have a 3rd gallon just in case we need it. But it uses the pink G12 or G13 coolant. So we're gonna start putting that, we're gonna get that in here, like so. Hook up the siphon in there. Gonna open that valve. Start introducing air. We're all done with the Range Rover. We primed the coolant system. We started up. We let everything warm up. Open the bleeders. The bleeders right here, 1 here, and 1 right here on the top of the tank. So like, subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate you guys viewing in. Thumbs up if you liked it. If this helped you out, comment, let me know. Maybe I could help you out. But thank you again.